Every season has a moment where the lights finally find you, and this is that moment. The whispers have turned into echoes, and the echoes into a roar. Your essence is being carried across conversations you never entered, woven into plans you never drafted, and spoken of with reverence in places you've yet to stand. The spark you once ignited in silence has now become a blaze others can't ignore. People are beginning to recall the way your presence shifted something deep within them, how your words, even in passing, unlock doors in their own thinking. These reflections are no longer hidden. They're being shared aloud, amplified, and carried further than you could ever push alone. Opportunities are circling like stars finding their orbit, aligning themselves around your name, not by chance, but because your influence has left a mark too sharp, too distinct, to be overlooked. The air feels different now, not because the world changed overnight, but because the world is finally catching up to what you've been carrying all along. The recognition you're stepping into is not fragile or fleeting. It's solid, like roots pressing deeper into the ground even as the branches reach higher. It's proof that your effort, your vision, and your authenticity have been quietly sowing seeds in places you didn't know could grow. And now, those gardens are beginning to bloom in full view. This season is not about convincing anyone of your worth. It's about witnessing how undeniable it has become. Your name doesn't just pass through conversations, it lingers. It compels. It transforms doubt into curiosity and curiosity into belief. There are voices rising now, voices you never thought would speak for you, weaving your story into rooms you haven't entered. And when your name is spoken, it isn't just a label, it's a testament, a symbol of resilience, vision, and impact that cannot be replicated. What once felt distant is suddenly near. What once felt impossible is now inevitable. The world has begun to recognize not only what you've done, but who you are. And once that truth takes root, there's no turning it back. Every step you've taken has been quietly remembered, and now the echoes of those steps are resurfacing. Encounters that seemed small at the time are now being retold with admiration, as if the very moments you forgot to value have become landmarks in someone else's journey. What felt like ordinary interactions have turned into reference points of integrity and capability that others cannot help but highlight. This energy does not come in scattered fragments. It arrives as a concentrated force. The recollections of your presence are not gentle ripples, but rising waves that press forward with undeniable strength. The pace and persistence of these mentions cannot be explained by coincidence. They move with an urgency that suggests something greater is guiding the current. It is more than recognition, it is a magnification. The impressions you left behind are being carried further than logic can measure, amplified until their resonance surpasses what most ever experience. The stories that surface about you are not spoken with detached politeness, but with a kind of weight that commands attention. When others bring your name into the room, the atmosphere shifts. Faces change, voices sharpen, and conversations bend toward possibility. The way people recall your actions is not a recitation but a reawakening, a reminder of something within themselves that they felt in your presence and now cannot ignore. There is a liveliness in their tone when they speak about you, as though remembering you stirs a brightness they cannot suppress. They describe not just what you did, but the way it felt to witness it. Their voices carry an excitement they may not even fully understand, yet it burns clear because it comes from a truth deeper than words. What is happening is not a passing trend, but a revelation of groundwork that was always there. The seeds of influence you scattered through consistency and sincerity have matured into living testaments that no one can dismiss. It is no longer a question of whether your path will rise, but how quickly. The unfolding of this moment is proof that unseen forces conspire in favor of authenticity. You are entering a season where your reputation is no longer whispered in shadows, but spoken aloud with passion, reshaping opportunities and shifting futures in ways beyond what even your own plans could design. Momentum always arrives with a double edge. As voices rise to honor your name, there are others whose jealousy stirs like shadows unwilling to fade. The same recognition that summons allies also exposes hidden adversaries, who once believed they had buried your influence. What is unfolding is not merely a matter of opinions. It is the unveiling of an ancient struggle that activates the moment true elevation begins. The first signals appeared quietly. A casual remark slipped into conversation. A small gesture of appreciation carried further than expected. Or a simple defense of your character from someone who had no obligation to stand for you. These early acknowledgments were not random. They were threads weaving together into a larger pattern. Threads designed to place you in alignment with opportunities you could not have orchestrated yourself. Each instance of your name surfacing carries a deeper meaning. These aren't accidents scattered by chance. They are signs that the path you've been preparing for is finally opening. What seemed like scattered fragments of attention now resemble pieces of a larger design snapping into position, revealing a picture that has been forming long before you realized it. When someone commits to the unseen work, when authenticity becomes their foundation, and when they continue to build without applause, a shift eventually occurs. The unseen forces that observe begin to rearrange circumstances, sending individuals and chances directly into alignment. This principle moves beyond belief. It is a current that pulls everything toward the one who has been consistent in truth. The mentions of your name are no longer casual remarks. They are purposeful and deliberate. Each time it's spoken, it lands with weight, placed strategically in the ears of those with the power to open doors. A leader in need of solutions has been introduced to your abilities without you even being present, and someone whose influence normally sets barriers is beginning to look toward you with curiosity. This recognition doesn't remain confined to a single group. It crosses layers of community, professional circles, and personal connections that have no direct link, yet somehow converge around the same perception of who you are. The spread of this acknowledgement cannot be crafted through calculated networking. It is arising organically, propelled by the truth of your character. What makes this momentum undeniable is the level of detail now being attached to your reputation. Instead of vague compliments, people recount moments of pressure where you excelled, times you shifted atmospheres with composure, or instances where your perspective solved what others could not. These accounts reveal not just competence, but depth of character, and they appear precisely when you least anticipate them. Signals that the stage of recognition you are stepping into has already begun. If you've been touched by God's goodness, don't keep it to yourself. Click Super Thank You and sow a gift of $50 or more to help spread His light. Your giving becomes a ripple of grace, blessing hearts and building His kingdom. Let His overflow pour through you. There are seasons when the silence feels endless, when it seems as though the work poured out has dissolved unnoticed. In those stretches, questions rise like fog. Does any of this matter? Does anyone even see? Is the road being traveled the right one? What feels like neglect is not neglect at all. It is the last measure of patience before the gates begin to open wider than expected. The stillness had a purpose. It was never about proving yourself to others, but about refining the reasons behind your actions. There was a need to strengthen the foundation, to prove that effort was not born out of the hunger for applause, but out of something steady within. That refinement has been happening quietly, and now, from directions least expected, doors are ready to swing open. Introductions once forgotten are about to surface in surprising ways. People encountered briefly are preparing to carry your name into places that will alter your direction. The choices made in the shadows, moments when ease was set aside for the sake of integrity, have been collecting weight, and now they are tipping the balance toward a season of visible elevation. There is movement within professional spaces that cannot be denied. Conversations are surfacing where your abilities are not only recognized, but actively sought out. Positions once beyond your reach are now being aligned with the very skills you've cultivated, and voices you've never heard before are beginning to inquire about you. In a climate where reliability feels scarce, your consistency is emerging as the answer people have been searching for. This is no coincidence. It is the alignment of every past interaction being woven into a bridge that leads to advancement. Yet what is taking shape stretches beyond careers and achievements. It touches the personal realm as well. Recognition is expanding into relationships. Friends introduce you not just as a companion, but as someone worthy of admiration. Invitations are multiplying, not for appearances, but because your presence carries weight that others genuinely desire to include in their own meaningful spaces. Even in the realm of affection, curiosity is stirring. The way others speak of your character is sparking interest before introductions are even made. Momentum is building across every sphere: profession, friendship, love. And with that light growing stronger, the unseen forces that once lingered quietly in the background are beginning to awaken as well. The rise that calls genuine supporters to your side also stirs unease in those whose hearts are governed by comparison. Success has a way of unmasking hidden feelings, and what once seemed like companionship can suddenly reveal envy disguised as loyalty. What feels like elevation is also the great unveiling, showing who was truly aligned with you and who was only comfortable when you were smaller. The unveiling can feel jarring. The same people who once shared your table may grow distant, their silence sharper than words. Some may even turn against you with a coldness you never imagined. Yet this unveiling is not meant to harm you. It is meant to sharpen your perception. It is the refining of your vision, a training ground that teaches you how to see clearly who walks with you for real and who is merely drawn by convenience. This season forces you to separate voices, those who cheer for your growth and those who quietly resent it. Not everyone around you is capable of celebrating a rise they themselves have not achieved. Resistance gathers in moments like these, not as a figment of imagination, but as a response to purpose taking form. Every person destined for significant impact encounters this current of opposition. It is part of the path, not a detour. The challenges may attempt to wear down your spirit. They may come as distractions that pull your focus, as manipulations meant to drain your confidence, or as subtle attempts to convince you that your progress is undeserved. Yet every obstacle you've endured until now has built resilience within you, strengthening your inner core to withstand storms without crumbling. Opposition will appear in many shapes. Sometimes it's direct rumors, conflict, or overt sabotage. Other times it's cloaked in familiarity. Individuals seeking your time not out of love, but out of need. Voices trying to dim your glow by dismissing your effort as luck. Both forms exist to test your resolve, to measure how firmly you stand in your truth. And through this, wisdom becomes your shield. These experiences shape the ability to establish boundaries without apology, to trust your instincts when something feels off, to recognize when words don't match actions. Each encounter becomes a teacher, showing you how to move with both strength and compassion as you navigate rising influence. Even from the past, figures may reappear, those who thought they had written the final chapter of your story. They may return dressed in flattery or in sudden emergencies, attempting to position themselves close to what you're building. Their motives may be veiled in kindness, yet beneath lies the desire to either extract from your blessings or interfere with their growth. This return is not meant to derail you, but to confirm just how far you've come and how much further you are destined to go. Periods of retreat often look like disappearance from the outside, but in truth, they are stages of preparation. The choice to step back is not avoidance. It is wisdom shaping the atmosphere for change. This pause becomes a container for growth, allowing what is outdated to fall away and giving new possibilities the quiet they need to take root. What may seem like solitude is in fact refinement. This is a gestation period where strength is built in silence, where clarity sharpens behind the scenes. By guarding your energy and becoming deliberate about where it flows, you set the stage for a reintroduction so powerful it will even catch you by surprise. With each layer of protection you place around your time and focus, your value becomes clearer to others. People begin to sense that your energy is not endless, and in that awareness, they approach with greater respect. Access to you shifts from something assumed to something treasured, marking the beginning of a new phase where your presence is no longer taken lightly. But with visibility comes the demand for responsibility. As more paths open and influence grows, the decisions you make will shape not only your journey, but the lives of those drawn into your orbit. Leadership will be tested in the smallest choices, revealing whether you can carry power without letting it consume you. The unseen order is paying attention. It is observing whether recognition will anchor you in service or lure you into arrogance. It will weigh whether you can stand firm in humility while still walking boldly in authority. How you answer these questions will decide not only the reach of your success, but the depth of its endurance. The acknowledgement unfolding around you extends far beyond achievements or accomplishments. People are not only noting your skills, they are sensing your essence. The way you remain unshaken in a world that often rewards pretense over truth. Authenticity, not performance, is what's speaking for you now. This is why your reputation carries weight. It's not simply that you can deliver results. It's that you do so with honor, with compassion, with an integrity that doesn't bend to pressure. These are the reasons your name arises when trust is needed, when recommendations are sought, when opportunities are reserved for only those who can be counted on fully. There's a rare gift in being able to shape the raw and unrefined into something extraordinary. Challenges that would weigh others down become the very material you use to craft wisdom. Scarcity is turned into innovation. Heartache becomes the ground where resilience grows. This ability to consistently generate growth from what life hands you is not just talent. It is a core identity. Because of this, people are magnetized toward your presence without always knowing why. They sense that proximity to you awakens parts of themselves that might otherwise remain dormant. The conversations surrounding your name reflect this awareness. Others speak not only of your capabilities, but of the atmosphere you create that expands possibility. What distinguishes you is that the impact you bring is not limited to tasks or outcomes. Your essence lifts entire environments. Chaos begins to settle in your presence, and situations that once seemed stagnant suddenly find new momentum. It is this capacity to elevate, to shift the temperature of a room, that makes your influence so deeply valued. What's remarkable is that your influence moves on more than one plane at once. Professionally, you generate measurable results. Yet on a personal level, you leave behind an imprint that is just as significant. Those who spend time with you often walk away more focused, more encouraged, and more willing to step into their own potential. This deeper layer of impact is what creates lasting loyalty. People remember not only what you accomplished, but how you made them feel. Stronger, clearer, braver. It is why your name surfaces repeatedly in spaces where trust and credibility matter most. Those who mention you speak with authenticity because they've seen transformation unfold in real time. They've witnessed limited opportunities turn into abundance through your hands, seen difficult situations turn into progress, and recognized how you consistently draw solutions from challenges others shy away from. Their conviction when they speak of you comes from lived experience. Now the invitation is clear. This is the time to embody that power fully. Recognition has already begun its work, and opportunities are multiplying. The true measure of this phase lies not only in external success, but in how fully you embrace your ability to shape environments, people, and outcomes. This is not simply about influence. It is about stepping unapologetically into the role you were always meant to fulfill. Moments arrive when the signals inside align so strongly that ignoring them becomes impossible. This is such a moment. The recognition already surrounding your name is now multiplying, drawing opportunities together in clusters rather than scattering them one by one. A single door opens and reveals several more beyond it. A single introduction branches into a web of connections that shift the entire direction of your path. This is not coincidence. It is timing perfected. When the season truly belongs to you, it is never just about one chance. Entire corridors of possibility reveal themselves, linked in ways you could not have arranged with strategy alone. Those who speak on your behalf may not even understand why they feel such urgency, but their conviction is undeniable because they are moved by something greater than preference or logic. They sense what rests within you, even if they cannot name it directly. They recognize potential that goes beyond achievement, an authenticity that cuts through the noise of surface appearances. Their voices are carrying your story into rooms you haven't entered, not because of obligation, but because something deep within them insists that you must be seen and positioned for what is coming. At the same time, this recognition draws out resistance. Not everyone welcomes the rise of authentic influence. As your reputation strengthens, so does the discomfort of those threatened by it. Yet in places both public and private, defenders are speaking with clarity, protecting your name, shielding your momentum, and ensuring that doubt cannot take hold where truth already stands. The most remarkable part is that many of these defenders are unaware of the magnitude of what they're doing. What feels like casual words in conversation are, in reality, building protective walls around your unfolding opportunities. Each defense becomes part of an unseen structure clearing obstacles and paving pathways forward. And it doesn't stop at one sphere of life. Professional recognition begins to enhance your relationships. Personal trust begins to fuel professional credibility. The effect is holistic, weaving through every area with remarkable consistency. Excellence is no longer compartmentalized. It flows as a unified current, making you stand out in a world where fragmentation is the norm. What is unfolding is not fragile, it is compounding. Each conversation, each opportunity, each recommendation adds to the wave already carrying you forward. You are becoming known not just for what you achieve, but for the way every part of your life reflects integrity, resilience, and transformative power. This rare alignment is what makes the season you are stepping into unlike any you've ever experienced. Momentum is shifting in a deliberate way now. The conversations that carry your name are no longer casual or passing. They are precise, purposeful, and tied to real opportunities. Instead of waiting for circumstances to align, people are actively creating spaces for your presence because they see how your involvement could spark growth and expansion far beyond the ordinary. Those who believe in you are moving with intention. They are not merely speaking well of you. They are connecting dots, opening doors, and making introductions that bypass the usual barriers. They recognize potential that feels too valuable to sit in silence, and they want their own story to include the moment they helped elevate yours before the wider world caught on. This early recognition by people of influence is accelerating your trajectory. While others rise step by cautious step, you are being vaulted ahead by those who see you as the answer to problems they have struggled to solve. Entire discussions are unfolding where your name surfaces as the missing piece, even in situations you never knew existed. You are becoming the first solution that comes to mind when someone describes a need. Networks of people, without coordinating, are pointing to you as the one with the rare combination of vision, trustworthiness, and capability. This is not luck. It is orchestration that stretches beyond human planning. The awareness of your abilities is not limited to filling established roles. Leaders with foresight are beginning to imagine possibilities built specifically around your strengths. They are envisioning projects that could be born from your perspective, ventures shaped by your insight, collaborations anchored in the unique impact you bring. Your reputation is sparking new ideas in the minds of decision-makers, prompting them to dream bigger because of what they've heard about you. Everything, your preparation, your trials, your persistence, has been funneling into this single inflection point. What approaches next will not look safe. It will present itself as a leap that demands faith greater than comfort. At that threshold, doubts will clamor. Old failures will whisper. Voices of limitation will attempt to chain you back to smaller visions. But alongside them will rise the steady call of destiny, reminding you of every advocate who spoke your name in unseen places, of every moment you chose integrity when it cost you, of every quiet preparation that brought you here. And when the test arrives, you will realize you've been ready all along. There comes a point when hesitation dissolves and confidence rises with unexpected force. The realization settles in that the unfolding recognition surrounding you could not have been engineered by human effort alone. It has been set in motion by something far greater. The moment you accept this, the entire atmosphere around you begins to rearrange in your favor. Once the choice is made, circumstances that once appeared too perfect to trust reveal themselves as precisely aligned. Individuals who once spoke for you quietly now step forward publicly, standing beside you as allies. What once felt like relentless resistance begins to serve as undeniable confirmation, fueling the very mission it tried to obstruct. Those who sought to re-enter your life during moments of transition now face a crossroads of their own. Some will reveal genuine transformation, offering sincere encouragement. Others will show their true motives, unmasking intentions that never belonged near your growth. Either way, your clarity ensures only what strengthens you remains. The period of seclusion you once embraced concludes naturally, not because you push yourself back into the world, but because you are now equipped to step into spaces with energy that uplifts instead of depletes. Solitude has forged clarity, built discernment, and cultivated a strength that makes engagement purposeful and balanced. What began as faint whispers has now become confident proclamations. Your name carries boldness when spoken, no longer tentative or uncertain. Recognition has matured from fleeting recommendations into a lasting credibility that continues to open new realms of possibility. What once appeared heavy with responsibility now feels like the honor it was always meant to be. The reach of your influence extends beyond personal advancement. It becomes a channel for transformation on multiple levels, inspiring integrity and courage in others. Professional victories are no longer just milestones, they ignite movements. Personal connections no longer rest on surface ties. They demonstrate what depth and authenticity look like in action. This orchestration is not short-lived. It has been designed for endurance. The momentum you are stepping into is meant to ripple across years, even generations. Your name is rising now not just because your moment has come, but because the world requires what you embody. What you are building is more than success. It is a legacy rooted in character, impact, and service, destined to outlast even your own presence.